lovely to have Kiara Advani with us. Kiara, thank you so much for joining us, and many congratulations on a string of wonderful performances. And I think Dimple Chima will be truly transformative for you once more. I think it'll do for you what Guilty and Lust Stories did. A very special role, right, Kiara?
It really is a very special role. I've said this on several occasions that I feel truly that this film is more than a film for all of us associated with the film. It's a story we've passionately been a part of and wanted people to know of his story, to know of their story. It's just the most beautiful story that I've heard in a very long time. And we're just waiting now for 12th August because we've lived with this for a long while, and I'm sure it's ready to finally reach the audience.
Great. Talk a little about playing a real life character. I think the second time in your life that you're doing that, but truly someone so outstanding, someone so self-sacrificing, and I don't know, words are not enough. Talk a little about when you finally met her, or, what your thoughts were.
You're right, actually, words will never be enough to truly make you experience what they do. Yeah. I feel and I keep saying this, that she is the strongest breed of women that I've ever known. And I think for anyone who is in a relationship with a man, who's serving the country, it's perhaps one of the hardest roles, for the support system to truly it's such a selfless emotion to support someone's dreams who is the most high risk job that they are taking up. And meeting Dimple Chima, I was really lucky, and she was very gracious to meet with me. And it really felt like a chat between, a woman to woman conversation. It was only the two of us. It was in my hotel room in Chandigarh. She came, she spoke to me at length about her memories with Captain Vikram Batra, the relationship they shared. And it was really like a friend talking to a friend, reliving everything like it happened just yesterday. Little stories about, how filmy he was in his gestures as a boyfriend to her, the promises he made to her, the way they, 4-year-long relationship, she mentioned that they perhaps saw each other physically only for maybe even less than 12 months. Wow. And imagine in 4 years, when your communication is mainly over letters, few trunk calls at that time, and how you value each of those moments and how precious that is for a woman to feel like this is the only man I will ever love, and it's a love beyond a lifetime. Truly feel, it takes so much strength. We don't really. I was recently watching this video on another army wife, and it's what stayed with me was when she spoke about, and even Dimple spoke about, how every time your man goes to perform his duties, that fear at the same time that's inside you, that hopefulness that it's not our last goodbye, and I hope he comes back. And I hope I see him again. They almost live 1,000 deaths every time, he's going on duty.
Right.
We only think of it when, unfortunately, that bad news comes. When as an outsider, as a civilian, you think of, oh, my heart goes out to that family. But that family lives with it throughout, and they're never trained for that emotional turmoil. They never know. They don't, it's perhaps the toughest sacrifice. Right. But like they all say, and like she said, that if he's going there and, doing what he's doing for his country, and this is his dream, and I'm supporting his dream, and I'm doing my service to my nation by supporting my man. Right. I think that takes a lot for someone to be so selfless.
Right.
And those emotions stayed with me. Even when I read the script, it was so beautifully and authentically written by Vishnu Vardhan and Sandeep, our director and writer of the film, when they inculcated this personal life story into the film, it was also real. And when I met with her, I said, it's unbelievable that all these moments actually happened and that we've stayed so true to the story, even to the fact that we've shot in most of the real locations, the same locations they met, the same location his last rites were carried out. Our team shot, majority of the film in Kargil itself, where the war took place. So everything was very honest and very authentic, which is, I think, why our heart and soul of the film lies in the right place.
Kiara, it's so heartbreaking when you meet someone like Dimple.
Yeah.
I don't know what must have gone through your mind and your heart as well, right? To meet someone finally who you've read about and you're trying to portray. To meet that person in the flesh must be a life-changing experience, isn't it?
It is, and it's so beautiful. When I sat with her, what I saw was someone who had so much happiness in her eyes. She was,
Wow.
There was that glint of pride and joy because of everything that he did. And it made me look up and respect Captain Vikram Batra so much more than I already had. So you can only imagine how much more, because he was just such a charming personality. And she was such a strong woman to stand by her choice of saying, this is the only love of my life. And she's a beautiful girl. I'm sure if she wished to, she could
Right.
have moved on, but she chose to live with him in her heart forever. She says she feels his presence around her. She speaks of him fondly, like he's still around. And I feel that's just so endearing in today's day and age, where she's truly a strong woman who has made that choice to remain unmarried and to remain with him in her heart. And I just feel like we don't see so many women like that, or you don't see love stories like
Exactly.
that.
I was about to say, you don't see love like that
Love
anymore.
like that.
Yeah, everything is so transient and so temporary. And there's the age of Tinder and meet cute and, swipe right, swipe left. And you think here
Exactly.
is someone who's lived with a memory for 22 years. I mean, it's so,
And imagine half of their communication was through letters.
yeah,
Today we take communication for granted. We don't even realize, how different it is. When you're a civilian and when you're serving for the nation, your conversations are very different. If as a civilian you can call up your loved one and be like, "Have you landed? Have you, what did you eat? Who said what at work?" They can't ask those questions. There's so much protocol, right? And to still respect that line of work and accept the limited communication and fill in for your loved one when he's not there. I think that it really takes for a strong career. I mean, I truly feel they are the unsung heroes. The families, the loved ones, the wives, the husbands, they truly are the unsung heroes who equally should be saluted.
Unrecognized community of women. They're amazing. They really have steel in their spines. How did that change you, Kiara? Because immediately after you shot this, you also had the pandemic, which was again such a life-defining experience. How much of that was going through, having played someone so selfless and strong? Did that affect you as well? Did that affect you as a person?
I think it made me take, I think when you're young, sometimes you tend to take certain things for granted, be it, like I said, communication, or, the things we feel like, oh, this is always there.
Right.
But to really treasure every moment and to make the most of every moment. And I feel with this pandemic and even in Shershaah with Dimple, meeting her, what stayed with me was to really have gratitude for every moment that you get. because we don't know what's coming tomorrow. We don't know if tomorrow is going to come, but we have today and make today really worth it.
Right.
So that stayed with me for sure.
That's wonderful. I think that's something that we all need to appreciate. And are you a little nervous about playing a real life character? That responsibility that you hope the audience respects what you've done, the work that you put in. Are you a bit nervous about that?
I think I'm most curious to have Dimple watch the film, to have Captain Vikram Batra's family watch the film. For me, their reaction and how they feel is something that's going to stay with me, and that's something I'm waiting to to watch and looking forward to, because it is a big responsibility and there's a lot of emotion and sensitivity around it.
Right.
And as everyone associated with the film, we've truly kept it as authentic and real and honest as possible. So for all of us, I think we're all waiting for that moment when finally the family and his loved ones and Dimple watches the film, from his brother and a couple of his friends and some of the people in the army who've already seen the film. We've had a wonderful response. So now we're waiting for everyone else who's associated and who's been such an integral part of his life to watch it. So for us, first, that is on our mind. And then the audience, it's a true story. So I feel like somewhere there's a sense of excitement for the audience to watch the film. It's a film I feel the audience, I would love to share. This was a story I wanted to share with, I remember, whether it was my own team or my family. After I was narrated the film, I really wanted to tell them the story because I felt like it had impacted me so much. I could only, I felt it had to be shared. And they all felt the same way just by hearing my version of, the narration. But I'm sure when they see the film, it's going to be a different emotion. So I'm very excited for them to watch this and to know his story.
Yeah, what is the quality that most strikes you about Dimple? The mental fortitude, the steel in her spine or the starch in her spine, whatever you want to call it. What is that one quality that really leaps out to you? You also talked about how happy she looked. How tough it must be,
To be so happy. Yes, of course. I think the quality that that really did stand out was her conviction in everything. I mean, she put up, through her relationship, a very brave front, be it all the conflicts that she might have had along the way, like normal relationships, with your family or when you're new in love and all of those things. And she fought for her love. And I felt like, I've said this before, I feel like if he fought at war, she fought for love. And that was just something that was so beautiful. But that was probably the common thread between both Dimple and Captain Bhatrap, that
fighters.
They both were very focused on what they wanted. And I think they had a beautiful relationship.
Really makes you want to, just hug her tight and not let her go, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Kiara, also talk a little about the work that you're doing now. Some fantastic films coming up. Are you excited about all the characters that you're going to play? I know Kabir Singh was again a transformative role for you, and everybody now thinks of you as the woman there, loving and always sort of. Again, full of life, but also so full of love. I think I think now you're consigned to play that,
I have been really, I would say, blessed with some incredible love stories.
Yeah.
I would say this would be the other one after Kabir Singh. I mean,
absolutely.
There are certain love stories that just touch you in a very different way.
Right.
This is also one of them. And I am excited to be, doing a lot of interesting work right now. I wouldn't want to digress and go too much into it, but some interesting roles, working with fantastic directors. It's just such a joy to be able to go back to work. Honestly, these 2 years we've been watching so much content that it's just so inspiring, and you know everything that you've watched, you just feel like I can't wait to go on shoot now and just keep performing. So by God's grace, touch wood. I don't know why we touch our head whenever we say
I know.
but I'm still doing it since I can't see wood around. But I've been just enjoying myself at work right now.
Yeah, and I think the whole idea of also, the pandemic, when one saw so much content, how did that change you as a performer? Did you were you a little nervous when you went back on the set and had to face the camera again, or was it just like going back to an old friend?
I felt it was liberating because when you watch so much content and you're so inspired, I mean, I remember Mayor of Easttown and just so many films and so many shows.
I love that. I thought Kate Winslet was outstanding.
And I was just like, oh my God, I can't wait to go and create something and just sink my teeth into this. And when I got on set, it was liberating. I mean, I probably one of those first, I mean, actually, even in the past, movie sets are, there's never a time limit. You're so happy. You can just enjoy yourself. If you're an actor or anybody who's in the film business, for an outsider, there's a lot of waiting. Like if my mom or my dad or someone had to come on set, enjoy it. But then after a point, you're like, okay, chalo, now I'll leave.
Yeah.
But for anybody who's in the business, waiting is never, we don't look at it like that. There's so much that you're creating even between those shots, and you're discussing and prepping, and I thoroughly enjoy. I think I've been enjoying, like in this second wave that we've got back to work, I feel like we've all, and me especially, I've just like held on to my work. Like it's been so liberating.
Right. And mentally, has it changed you in any way? When you look at your work now, do you prep a lot more? Do you has your process changed?
I think, of course, I've grown a lot more from the last few films. I mean, with every film you grow. And what I think watching a lot of content has opened up my perspective, and I'm seeing things in a different perspective. So I may see the same scene in a different light every time I read it now. So there is a lot of prep, no doubt about that. But I think I'm giving a lot of importance to even that perspective that I may have not seen in so many ways maybe earlier. Today, when I view, a film, a scene, anything, it's different angles that make it more interesting, from a different point of view. And eventually it's your directors, but when there's so much inner scene once you're in character that can, make it, take it to another level. And I felt it I'm shooting for a particular film right now, which is not announced, so I can't speak of it. But every day I go on set, I feel like from whatever's written, with all the fantastic actors I'm working with, we've been able to elevate it, and create something because everyone's so in character.
Right.
And that's been liberating for sure.
Since you mentioned Mayor of Easttown, I just want to, in wrapping up, I wanted to raise the idea of that, Kate Winslet also always talks about the idea of attainable beauty, that beauty doesn't always have to be unattainable. There is, your natural self. And you see her in Mayor as well. Most of the time, her hair is a mess and, there's hardly any makeup, but she is so beautiful. So when you look at this whole idea, especially on young women, and you have a lot of young women fans as well, that idea of perfection, the idea of beauty, is that changing as well? You see our sportswomen, for instance, you see Mirabai Chanu, she looks so beautiful, there's a different kind of beauty there. So do you think the idea of beauty is also changing, that it's no longer that perfect, everything has to be in place, and you can actually have the idea of attainable beauty?
Yeah, I think it's all about being confident.
Sorry.
I truly feel it's all about being confident in your own skin. And today I feel with everyone, the younger, even, very young girls, and I speak of girls who are like 12 and 13 and just coming into their adolescent years, they're already confident. And I think there's a certain section of social media, for that matter, that's also promoting, being confident in your own skin. Today we don't, where the barometer has changed, and that I feel like if you're too beautiful, it starts working against you. You know what I mean? In our field, in certain ways, it kind of limits you. like every actor today, like you'll deck up and enjoy yourself for promotions and for magazine shoots and all the other things. You have your fun. Like girls, we like to dress up. That's always going to be a part of every girl. But if you even see even in the roles and everything, we want to be as real and as relatable as possible. And that's because that's what I think everybody has realized at the end of the day, to empower women and to make you feel that you can be your best self, even in your pajamas and even in without makeup and whatever, you know, it's all inside, nothing, not about what's outside. So definitely.
Yeah, and I think that's a wonderful message for younger women and young boys as well. I mean, they have as high standards of masculine beauty as women do. So is that something you focus on a lot more now?
What do you mean?
In the sense of, you know, that message, sending out that message to young women that you don't always have to look perfect.
I feel, I don't know if I focus a lot on it to like make that point, you know, well, when you say, do I focus a lot on it? I don't think so. But I think with my choice of roles or with my work in my workspace, I have taken up, whether it's being pregnant, whether it's being no makeup in films, whatever, those typical standards, all of that, those days have gone.
All of that you've done.
You can look beautiful in other shoots and all of that, but that's no longer the quintessential heroine to be, you know, to be wearing the amazing clothes and dancing in songs. I mean, we enjoy that as well, no doubt about it. But there is, you know, I think a lot is now focused on content, on being relatable, and today, and even with the kind of cinema we're watching, or with the kind of films that are coming out internationally across languages in our own country, we keep saying content is king, right? We even see that today for men and women, today you have an anti, like a negative character also being the hero,
right?
Or like that hero-heroine definition has changed.
Right.
You don't have to look a certain way or be a certain way to be the hero or the heroine.
Right.
So today it's all from within.
Wonderful. I look forward to Dimple Cheema and I look forward to Kiara Advani playing Dimple Cheema. All the very best for Shershaah. Thank you so much, Kiara.
Thank you. Lovely talking to you as always.
Thank you. Take care.